Fable Anniversary still does things I rarely see in RPGs anymore. And I'm not just talking about some forgotten combat mechanic. People remember you, you can become famous, buy a house, marry some random NPC in the world, walk into a tavern, and just straight up fart.
You're a fucking joke. Make me laugh.
And yes, the crazy thing is, people actually react to it. Now, this game is over 20 years old, and trust me guys, it absolutely feels that old too. I'm playing at 4K with everything turned up, and yeah, no amount of pixels is hiding this one. But as someone who never properly played Fable before, I kept finding things that genuinely surprised me. And for me, it started with one giant wasp queen. Technically, I have played Fable before a long time ago, right? But I have never really got past the beginning, definitely not far enough to properly experience the game. So with the new Fable coming out, I thought, alright, it's time. And those first few hours were pretty much what I expected from an old RPG. Some of the controls took me a while to get used to, the game obviously looks dated, and even the story wastes absolutely no time. You start in Oakville, your father sends you out to do some good deeds, and then suddenly your village is just straight up burning. Your father is dead, and some random mage teleports you away to the Heroes Guild. Like, mate, can I just process what just happened first? I was buying chocolates 5 minutes ago. But anyway, after the Heroes Guild we go. You start training, learn the basics, and eventually head out into the world as a fresh hero. And up until that point, I thought I knew exactly what kind of experience I was getting. A classic RPG, probably a good one at that, but one that I had simply played way too late in my life. Then I fought the Wasp Queen. Like, nothing crazy, a big insect kill big insect hero stuff, right? But after I killed it, the people nearby started celebrating. And this caught me completely off guard, guys, because I had barely done anything yet in the world. I wasn't some legendary hero, I hadn't saved a freaking kingdom, I killed one oversized wasp, and there's these people who were treating me like I returned from Mordor. And I loved it. It was such a small moment, but for the first time I understood what Fable was trying to do. Being a hero here isn't only about finishing quests, it changes how people see you. And that little celebration, that becomes something much bigger later on. Because Fable has an actual fame system. You start at this nobody from Oakville, train at the Heroes Guild, take on quests, and slowly build a name for yourself. And over time, people begin to recognize you. That is such a simple idea, but man, I wish more RPGs played with it. Because we have all had that moment, you save an entire kingdom, kill 3 dragons, stop the apocalypse, you name it. You defeat some ancient god that has been sleeping for 4,000 years. Then you enter the next village and some guy goes, "Hey, stranger, can you collect 10 mushrooms for me?" Like, bro, stranger, mate, I saved reality yesterday. Show me some freaking respect. Fable actually understands that becoming important should change your relationship with the world. You're not famous because a menu says Fame 74, right? You notice it through the people around you. And suddenly, that Wasp Queen moment makes more sense. That wasn't just a cute little celebration after a quest, it was my first taste of a system that would keep growing alongside me. But here is what makes Fable even stranger. Because while the game is busy making you feel like some respected hero, it also lets you completely destroy that image in about 3 seconds. You can fart. That's it, guys. That's the mechanic. You can walk into a tavern, stand in front of a bunch of people and just let one go. And they react like, bro. Best game ever made. Back it up. We're done here. 10 out of 10. Let's move on. But seriously, guys, this is one of those things that sounds completely pointless. And that's exactly why I like it. You can burp, laugh, flirt, pull different expressions, just mess around with people, right? And because NPCs respond, these aren't just animations you spam while nobody cares. They become another way of interacting with the world. I think RPGs can sometimes become so focused on serious dialogue trees and massive story decisions that they forgot something very simple. Sometimes I just want to be an idiot. I don't need every interaction to decide the fate of the kingdom. Maybe I want to walk into a tavern and just straight up embarrass myself. Give me that freedom. And somehow Fable does exactly that. But then guys, I discovered those social systems aren't only there for jokes. Because apparently if you stop farting at people for 5 minutes, you can build a relationship. You can get married in this game. And I don't mean through some massive 20-hour companion storyline where I need to complete 70 personal quests before someone finally admits they like me. You can find a person, get them interested in you, you buy a house, and basically decide, yep, you'll do romance. And I find this fascinating because it adds another layer to the role-playing. 1 minute you're out there fighting monsters, the next you're flirting with someone in the nearby town. Then you're buying a property. But this is where I started to understand why all these little mechanics were sticking with me. It isn't that Fable invented marriage, or houses, or reputation. Of course it didn't. It's that the game is constantly giving you little ways to exist outside of the main quest. Being a hero isn't your entire personality. You can have a home, build relationships, mess with people, become known around the town. And then when you finally head back out on another adventure, that side of your life is still waiting for you. That makes Albion feel less like a map full of objectives and more like somewhere my character actually belongs. And even when it comes to combat, Fable keeps that same idea of letting you decide what kind of hero you want to become. And I really like the progression system, guys. Enemies drop these experience orbs, you collect them, and later spend experience on different upgrades like more health, better stealth, new abilities, magic, and obviously the moment I saw a fireball, guys, you know what I did. I bought that fireball. What do you want from me? I'm a simple man. Game shows me fireball, guys, I buy the fireball. But the cool part is that I'm not locked into one very specific idea of what this hero needs to be. Maybe I want more strength, maybe I want to sneak around, maybe I want to do magic, maybe I want to throw fire at everything and pretend I had a plan, right? This game gives you room to shape that, and by this point I realized something else. When I first started Fable, I thought its age would be the main thing, but don't get me wrong guys, sometimes it really is. This game feels absolutely old. Some of the controls took me a time to get used to, the story moves ridiculously fast in places, and visually, yeah, 4K is doing its best, we appreciate the effort there, but there are only so many miracles a resolution setting can perform. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend Fable Anniversary has aged perfectly, because it hasn't. And weirdly, that's what made the whole experience more interesting. I went into this expecting to understand why people loved an old classic. That was basically it. With the new Fable coming out, I wanted some context. I wanted to finally experience the game properly, maybe have a good time along the way. Instead, I kept getting surprised by things I wasn't even looking for. A village celebrating me after killing a boss, people eventually knowing who I am, being able to mess around with NPCs, relationships, marriages, houses, a progression system that lets me shape my own hero. And yes, farting. We cannot forget about the farting, guys. But that's why I enjoyed this game so much. Not because every mechanic is completely unique, it isn't. And I'm definitely not saying other RPGs never done these things. They have absolutely done them. What surprised me is how naturally Fable makes all of it part of the same adventure. It lets you become important without forgetting to let you be stupid. It lets you save people but also live among them. It gives you ways to shape your hero. Then lets the world acknowledge who that hero becomes. And somehow this old dated occasionally awkward RPG kept making me think, guys, why don't I see more games doing this? So yeah, Fable Anniversary absolutely shows its age. But after finally giving it a proper chance, I think it still does things I rarely see in other RPGs. And now, I finally understand why people still talk about this game. But I could go on rambling all over the place, right? But I want to know what you guys think about Fable. Do you agree with me here? Let me know down in the comments. And if you're up for another video, here is a video YouTube has recommended you. I'm probably sure you want to check that out. I'll see you there, and if not, have a great day. Take care, guys.